creativity, spirituality, and making a buck. I know a lot of people have taught this course, around the world from time to time, mixed in with sort of more traditional Buddhist classes. And for me personally, it has special meaning because my own journey has involved sort of being able to integrate my livelihood and creative life as an artist with my Buddhist practice. So that's a personal journey. But I find a lot of people, resonate with this sort of combination of these elements, that our spiritual practice is not something that's kind of isolated and off into the woods, and then our real life is something that's just overwhelming and kind of driving us nuts. So the idea of putting together some kind of full notion of who we are and how we can live is sort of what's behind it, obviously. Creativity, spirituality, and making a buck. The thread that runs through these three is you. That's what ties them together. So I'm going to try to get an idea from you. What are you looking for, you see? Because that's, we have in some traditions what we would call a vision quest. You go into the sweat lodge periodically and you try to come up with, I think, Thomas, you're sort of indicating that in what you said earlier. How can you penetrate through and revise, update your sense of your own journey as you go through life? So, roughly speaking, these areas are broad topics. They can be very much. Each one could open up like an accordion and become a very, very big topic of discussion. And hopefully we'll do that. We'll open the accordion and close it back up again. But I think in terms of spirituality, what I'm sort of indicating by that, it's such a big topic and people mean so many different things by it, but I'm talking about sort of balance and sanity and vision, that dimension of life. So you could say everything comes and goes, that's the sort of basic logic, right? Impermanence, all coming and going. But while it's happening, while we're experiencing our lives, some sense of how much equanimity, how much stability, how much clarity do we have, from day to day. So spirituality maybe is the biggest arc of all these topics, the longest arc. It goes from day one to the end, right? So of course everybody has their own unique approach to it, and we're not going to really be sort of preaching or trying to come up with any sort of preferred approach to spirituality, but we are going to approach it through the lens of a very, very grounded meditation practice called mindfulness, because that goes with everything. I've been known to say mindfulness is the best mixer because it goes with walking, it goes with talking, it goes with artwork, it goes with working well with other people. So I consider it kind of a universal dimension of off of the Buddhist teachings, but it really is transcended in the sense that it applies to everything that we do. And then creativity, is such a fundamental part of living. So I guess my main point would be that it's just creative just to be alive. That's the original creative act is being born. And then, of course, our first sound is, wah! Do I really have to be here? And for those of you who've seen somebody being born, that's what we're talking about. That's what creativity is. Just coming into this world and then making your way through it. So the question is whether that journey is going to be painful or have some kind of joy and excitement to it. And as a friend of mine, Becky, says, if you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to enjoy the destination. So this workshop may be in its own way a little less goal-oriented than some of the others, or a little less about, details about how to do this, but maybe broader strokes in terms of the whole view that we hold. And then we're going to get very, very specific. So we're going to be connecting kind of a sort of a big view with very practical elements of the details of everyday life. And then making a buck. Yay. I mean, what a strange topic. A lot of the quote-unquote spiritual centers and things, they don't really like to talk about this aspect of life all that much. So it's interesting. You have the two spectrums. There's this kind of spiritual people and then the materialists, And then, these days, though, I think, and maybe San Francisco is a really good example of how this is happening. the integration of those two has become almost a new kind of approach towards living. So we'll be looking at making a buck, but maybe also the state of mind that we have in relation to making a buck is very important. So the idea of right livelihood, or having integrity with your livelihood, and having prosperity. An outer richness that reflects an inner richness. So that's the notion of making a buck there. And those are the three things that we're going to be weaving together here today.